Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us his truth, and salutations to sincere Akim and Aqua that may listen. May the blessing of election be over your house. So, my name is Brother Raquai, back in here with another video, and the topic for today is examining yourself. And what inspired me to actually do this topic is just a series of events that that I was going through, and looking at what is some of the things I can get out of it to actually be able to apply and refine myself. Right. So, it was an experience that was very, chastising, so to speak. But, like it says in, I believe it's Hebrews 10 and 12, that yield a peaceable fruit of righteousness. Right. So, always constantly being that person that, examining yourself and, trying to do your best to take accountability all, through and through, and not slacking off, not just doing it, like one day and then you forget to do it, for the rest of the month or something like that, right? Always constantly authority, like, examining yourself, looking at yourself, right? And looking at, the areas, where you can, also improve, right? And, cast off, the old parts of you, and then be renewed, constantly being renewed, right? And implementing new habits, right? And new things that can be more pleasing towards Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? So let's talk about that word examine in the etymology, see what it means. Right? Because a lot of it is it's learning how to, take accountability, right? And then asking the Lord, for more wisdom, more knowledge on where you can improve, right? So this is examine in the etymology. So to put someone to question in regard to knowledge, competence, or skill, inquire into qualifications or capabilities, inspect or survey something, carefully scrutinize, view, or observe in all aspects with the purpose of forming a correct opinion or judgment, right? So, just to go into that word scrutinize, and carefully scrutinize, because you're, the objective is to, you're scrutinizing yourself, in hopes to get, some results, in hopes to get an answer where you can actually, be able to improve, right? And this goes for myself as well, right? I'm sharing this information, as I go through the experience, in hopes that it can also help, the hopeful alike that, may listen, a few brothers and few sisters that may listen, and be able to make ourselves to be more acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? Like it says in Sirach 2, acceptable man in the something. Let me just get it before I butcher it. believe it's 2 and 5. Okay, so Ecclesiasticus 2 and 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So the objective is to make ourselves, be more acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? And not be a reprobate or degenerate, like 2/3 of our people, right? Looking at a lot of those habits that that they have, that they're having difficulties, putting off, right? And looking at some of our habits that we have, and some of those habits that we can put off some of these habits and have more habits that are more righteous and more pleasing to the Lord, as opposed to something that's going to cause the Lord to be, cause vexation and cause anger, right? Okay, so let's go back to that word examine. In French, examiner, interrogate, question, torture, to test, try, consider, ponder, to weigh, a means of weighing or testing, demand, inquire, enforce, to drive or force out, to finish or measure. So the X part means out. And that says ager, to set out in motion, to set in motion, drive forward, to perform, to drive, draw out. So the objective is to draw out, new habits, to draw out more righteous habits, right? Because you want to be able to set that standard, especially in the eyes of our people, right? Because 2/3 of our people, they because of lack of understanding, and the head is whole sick, and the head is sick, Salakia. It our standard is very low. It's extremely low, to the point where you have celebrities, when they portray themselves on TV, like the Cardi B's and the Drakes and all these entertainers, they're not setting a healthy example, right, for our people. And this is what the scriptures is doing for us, is to help us get back and set that standard, while we're here on earth, right? So let's get our first scripts. I'm just not going to make this too long, but hopefully this will be edifying to who may listen. So let's go to so this is 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Verse 6. But I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates, right? So that is a spirit that you want to refrain from. You don't want to be that degenerate spirit, right? You want to, be able to engulf the habits of, righteous habits, to be able to be more pleasing and be more of the noble vine that we were planted to be, right? Let's get that word reprobate, see what that means. Oh, wait. Probate. Okay. Okay, so this is reprobate. Rejected as worthless. yeah, you don't want to be that. disapprove, reject, condemn, back again. Here perhaps indicating opposite of reversal or previous condition. Right. So you don't want to be that previous condition that you were in the world, you want to be more pleasing and acceptable, right? So this is opposite or reversal of previous condition. Prove to be worthy. The meaning, abandoned in character. Morally depraved. Oh goodness, morally depraved and unprincipled. Right? Yeah. So yeah, it's basically someone who's a degenerate, right? Someone who has no order or structure, right? So this is what we need Yahweh Shai. So we need Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to make us more, to help us to make more acceptable, to be more pleasing, right? Let's see what it says down here. One rejected by the Most High, person given over to sin, sense of abandoned or unprincipled aversion, persons like you. Condemn, disapprove vehemently, disapprove, reject, condemn, reject, put away. Yeah, so 2/3 of our people are completely rejected, right? And they're not in that spirit of looking at themselves, right? And it's a really, really challenging thing to be able to look at yourself and think, okay, where are the areas that I can improve on, right? And then be able to pray, ask the Lord, Barakatha Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, please bless me with more wisdom to be more acceptable towards you, right? Because he's the one that breaks down, but he's also the one that can build us up, right? So let's get hang on, I have a quick script in mind. Let's see. I know it's in James. Okay, so this is James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask the Most High, for he giveth to men, all men, liberally, so freely, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given unto him, right? So, if you're lacking in something, pray, ask the Lord, please help me understand this. Please help me through this. And it's and being that humble spirit, that submission of spirit, right? Because he's the one that's gonna give it to us, right? But we have to submit to him, right? So let's get 3. Okay, so this is Matthew 23, verse 25. And Yahushua said, Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess, right? So you could just, imagine that, because you would have a lot of people who would tell you X, Y, and Z, but, they're hypocrites because they're doing the same thing, right? Verse 26, though blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and the platter, that the outside of them may be clean also, right? So it's also looking at, so this is the part of the the part of going back to the lesson of examining yourself. So looking inside. So the cup in this situation would represent ourselves, and looking inside the cup and not just cleaning the outside, right? So someone can have a very, very tidy outside, but on the inside, it's full of wickedness. It's full of sin. You know, it's full of all these different things: lasciviousness, covetousness. There's probably no integrity, right? So always looking on the inside of the cup. Is the inside is where it's where it's the inside that really and truly makes a difference. The outside, a lot of people focus a lot on the outside, the countenance, the appearance, right? And neglect the inside, right? So the goal, the objective of examining self is to pay attention to the inside, right? Verse 27. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but within full of dead men's bones and uncleanness, right? So if you just imagine like a beautiful piece of china, where it looks really, really, you know, spectacular on the outside, but on the inside, it's probably decaying. It's probably rusting. There's spots inside. It's a horrible sight to see. Like if you had somebody over your house and then you were showing them this piece of this china, and they were looking at it and it's like, oh my goodness, this looks so well, so wonderful. And then they looked on the inside like, oh my goodness, like all that's in there. Like, the person wouldn't want to use it, right? You want to be someone who not necessarily focuses a lot on the outside, but also examines and able to clean what's on the inside as well, right? Because on the inside it's what's most important, right? Anyways, I would just leave it there, and hopefully the point was made. But hopefully, you brothers and a few sisters were edified, and just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us the truth. Until next time, I say Shalom.